Good morning, family. Good morning, Autobots. It is I, your intrepid instructor, and you are my intrepid students. Happy to have you along. What's today? It's 11 o'clock, 11:13, and June 11th, 2020, during the COVID pandemic. I've got a lot of energy this morning because I'm on my second cup of coffee. Hoo-ah! As you guys know, you guys have seen me in class after a good cup of coffee. I have Jabber Jaw. Um, what's going on? All right, so we had a couple of meetings this morning. They are asking us for our opinion to get back into class. I love it. Which also means, coincidentally, that at some point they're going to be opening my gym back up. What? Look at these. Look at how weak I look. Oh my God, the muscles are atrophying. I'm all blah, 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 blah. It's gross. Anyways, yeah, so they're definitely having talks as to bringing us back. They're talking about bringing us back 20 students at a time. They're going to be going first to the students that don't have housing at all so that we can get these kids off the street. I want each and every one of you, if your housing situation is dire, I want you to reach out to your counselors, not us. I have no pathway for that. I mean, you can reach out to me and I'll forward something. But definitely what you guys want to do is reach out to anyone who is like a counselor type. You even just call the normal 593-4000 phone number, speak to security and say, okay, I want to talk to my counselor, and they'll send you over to the counselor's office and let them know that your housing situation is dire, meaning you don't have housing, or you're sleeping on someone's couch, or you don't have the rent money. They're talking about evicting you. You need to let the staff know that is your situation. The light's bright. Oh, much better. That you need to. Oh, that's not good either. Hold on. Oh, diffused lighting. So happy. Let me aim it up a little bit. Good. It's like a photo shoot. Got to have the light aimed just so. Let them know about your housing situation. If your housing situation is okay, don't bother anyone just yet. We're really looking for people who are either homeless, real homeless, out underneath an overpass or in a car, or sleeping at a friend's house's couch. That's the kind of thing I think they're looking for to begin with, to bring those students back into job course setting. Another thing that they're that they're massive steps making sure that everyone's going to be healthy and not getting everyone else sick. There's going to be COVID testing at the gate, temperature wise. They're going to, remember that laser thermometer I have? Well, I'm going to be able to do it in the shop. We'll be able to scan everybody and keep everybody healthy that way. Maybe we'll do multiple temperature checks during the day. Ooh, I'll write that down on the note. To make sure. They've asked us, Mr. King and I, our opinions as to how we think we should have our classrooms, how we should have. Oh, I don't want full screen. Hold on one second while I figure this out. There we go. Move this up higher and then make this screen smaller so that I'm closer to the camera and it doesn't look like there's something about looking up at the camera and then looking slightly down at yourself. So like I'm looking at my photograph right now, the camera provided image of it's gone. It's gone. Where'd it go? Oh, there I am. Oh, Jesus. Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its and crackers. There we go. Better. And so nothing's more complicated than having someone who's always looking down here. And even though I'm talking to you, I'm staring down here because that's where the camera of me is. It's much easier to talk to you this way, so it actually looks like I'm actually talking to you. And so in this angle, it looks like I'm looking at you, but what I really am doing is I'm looking slightly below it at my image and making sure that I look in focus. I look big and strong. Anyway, that was all bad. I do this. Better. So, anyways, that's what we're doing, at least on the Job Corps, and making sure that all the vocations are clean. One of the suggestions I have is for temporary partition, makeshift partitions. We're not going to be teaching in our classroom. I mean, we'll have two or three stations in the classroom, right? So that everyone can have social distancing, and there may be four. One will be for books, one will be two areas for reading, and then two areas for the computer, that kind of thing, so people can still do their AC Delcos and stuff, and SB2s, as well as teaching our class out in the shop. Well, that's important that we all watch the same video in the morning. I'm asking for better internet connection, so we have access to YouTube videos specifically on our line, so that we can do things like Donut Media, where they have great videos. I mean, King and I can talk. We can go through a slideshow, but sometimes it's really important to dive down that rabbit hole and speak a little bit more in depth on a topic. And sometimes you guys are just plain tired of hearing our voices. I get that. I get being tired of voices. I know what that's like. You don't want to hear people anymore, and I get that too. And it's easier if we change it up and go, hey, all right, enough of us talking. Why don't we go to watch, these guys at Hoonigan, or, watch some Japanese toge. Have guys racing down the hill, chasing each other with their Japanese spec automobiles, cars, bumper to bumper racing. Toge. Well, let's call it Toge. Much better. Or Toog. We can call it Togue, right? We'll call it Togue. Togue is good. Like Toga, Toga, Toga. Sorry. Animal House. Funny movie. Anyways, you can tell I've had a lot of coffee. So that's what's in the works. And we are definitely looking at the time frame is starting to get tighter and tighter. The initial students will probably see a rollout coming back late July for the first 20 students, and then every week or every 2 weeks they're going to bring back another 20 more and another 20, and they're going to keep this roll going. Maybe it might increase to 30 students when they start getting the hang of how everyone's coming back, so that when September finally rolls around, either all the students are back, or students that came back in July finished off their TARS. Because one of the things I do know is they're also looking back, they're also looking forward to bringing back students who are close to completion, students who really have, look, I just need signatures on papers and to TABE score one more time and I'm out of it. Well, they're going to really try to get those students finished and out, so that the student comes in, they finish up in 2 weeks, get them out the door, get them a completion, get their completion checks done, get their paperwork finished, down at the offices, and get them out the door, so we open that slot up. Now, the interesting thing is, now through this COVID process, the recruiting teams haven't been able to work. So there's no new students in the pipeline. It's not like Lewis Cologne will be leaving us and they've got a brand new student coming in who's never been to Job Corps. There are no new students. The recruiters have been stuck. They're not allowed. They've been trying, but everyone's like, I ain't going to do that right now. And so their numbers are stupendously low. And because of that, they can now say, all right, instead of everyone coming back at once and it being a real dumpster fire of a situation, they can go, okay, we're going to bring back, wave number 1 of 20 students, make sure that everybody's, in quarantine for the first week. Let's see how they're doing. Take daily temperatures, watch how they interact, watch to see, make sure daily, hourly temperature checks. I have to write a note too. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to write a letter. You guys are on the camera, so you can follow along as I send this new email to Miss Hanson. So I'll write it as that, and also CC Claire and David Baker. Subject: additional ideas. Additionally, it is it might be a great idea for each vocation be issued a laser thermometer, pyrometer, like we use in automotive, so that each instructor can measure each student at the beginning, at different times of the day. And anyone who shows an elevated temperature during the school day be sent to either wellness or maybe a special tent near security put up specifically for this purpose of triage for students who might have exposure concerns to COVID-19. No, where did my letter go? I literally, I hit the button. I hope it's draft. Oh my God, my wonderful letter just got sidelined. Here it is. Shoo! I'm just going to send it. All right, Kurt Romer. Oh, wait. Editing, great idea, no comma. This is what I do, and you guys should try to do this too. When you write a letter to someone, don't just write it and send it. You write the letter, you get your ideas out, then you stop. Breathe for a second. Hydrate. Always a good thing. And then you read your letter back, including the pauses at the commas. Periods get a 4-second pause. Semicolons get 2 breaths. and you continue the sentence as written. So I'll read. Additionally, comma, it might be a great idea for each vocation to be issued a laser thermometer. I spelled thermometer wrong. Closed parentheses, pyrometer, like we use in automotive, comma, so that each instructor can measure each student at different times of the day, and anyone who shows an elevated temp during the school day be sent either to either wellness or maybe a special tent near security. I'm going to put a comma there. Or maybe security, near security. Put up specifically for not this purpose, the purpose of triaging students, not for students. We're triaging students who might have had exposure, proper English, not concerns to COVID-19. Okay, there we go. Again, additionally, it might be a great idea for each vocation to be issued a laser thermometer, parentheses, pyrometer, like we use in automotive, so that each instructor can measure each student. So instructors, not each instructor, right? Instructors can measure each student at different times of the day. Run-on sentence. So we take away the comma, we add a period, and then we take away the and. We delete the and we capitalize A for anyone and remove the lowercase a. So that's the end sentence. Additionally, it might be a great idea for each vocation to be issued, to be issued a laser thermometer, pyrometer, parentheses, like we use in automotive, so that instructors can measure each student at different times of the day. Anyone who shows an elevated temperature during the school day can be sent to either wellness, so we add the word can, be sent to either wellness or, and take away that comma, because we have another one, we don't want to run on sentence, or maybe a special tent near security, comma, put up specifically for the purpose of triaging students, end comma, who might have had exposure to COVID-19. That's a perfect sentence. That's a good little blurb in an email. So now that I've reread my email, I've checked it for grammatical errors, I've checked its spelling. The great thing about using a lot of modern type, like even Notepad, has a spelling, little red lines. A little red line appears underneath words where the spelling might be wrong, and it gives you the chance to correct it or maybe change the word, change the verbiage, and you can do that. Okay, so that's done. My last name is put at the bottom, and I hit send. So together, you guys, you and I have just written a letter to the center director. I just brought up the camera again so I can see myself. And you guys have watched the process, how I write a professional letter to coworkers and to the management team. I don't like calling them my bosses. They're not my bosses. They're my management team. They're individuals whose job is to manage Job Corps. It is my responsibility to teach. Perfect. That being said, I hope I'm teaching you something here today, not just what we can read out of the back of the glossary. Obviously, that's what we test on, but I believe that a person's education should be about life, and not just education on life. better than teaching you things directly related to automotive. And I don't care who hears this. If the center director watches this video, I would give the exact same advice every single time. I don't care about teaching wrenching. And let me be specific. Here we go. I'm going to teach automotive in a nutshell. Never mind the ETAR. Never mind the specifics and parameters set up by Department of Labor to teach you students how to do automotive things. You ready? Automotive in a nutshell. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Clockwise tighten, counterclockwise loosen, except for counter-threaded items like suspension for alignment purposes. If it's an alignment system, sometimes the threads will be backwards. So it'll be lefty tighty, righty loosey. Right? In our vocation, we just have to know this rotation is to tighten, this rotation is to loosen, except on alignment issues. Or if we know for a fact that a given mechanical item has reverse rotation for the nuts or bolts. More importantly, I'll even minimize or move my screen so I can't see myself so you guys can